Well, it's no doubt the best two words in all of sports, Game 7. And we have one tomorrow night in Sunrise. For the first time in nearly 80 years, a team has rallied from 3-0 down to force a Game 7 in the Stanley Cup Final. Let's continue this conversation with tonight's face-off panel. Jason Powers, Todd Wright. Guys, welcome. Well, we never thought we'd get to this point with the way that things started, but here we are. So, Todd, let me get started with you tonight. If the Panthers lose Game 7 tomorrow night, would it be the worst collapse in sports championship history? Even worse than that Falcons collapse in Super Bowl 51 to the Patriots?
Yeah, I've been kicking this around with some people on the golf course over the past couple of days. And opinions vary, and Jason's may also, and yours may, Mike. But yeah, I say if Florida is on the wrong end of the reverse or inverted sweep, I'd never heard that term until researching this in the last 24 hours. I think it's worse than the Falcons blowing Super Bowl 51 28-3. Historical perspective. 1942. You know some of the names, Mike and Jason, that were involved with hockey in 1942, the only other time this happened? The president of the NHL was Frank Calder. That's a trophy now. The acting manager of the Maple Leafs who won that series was Frank Selke. That's a trophy now. The regular manager of the Maple Leafs who spent most of the year fighting in the war before coming back for the final was a guy you might know named Conn Smythe. That's a trophy now. And here's the fun one, Mike. The Detroit coach who blew the 3-0 lead is Jack Adams. Maybe that's why the coach of the year is cursed, because it's named for the coach who blew the 3-0 lead. And getting ahead a little bit of what Jason might say about, and I've heard this argument from others, about how the Falcons let it get away over the span of one half. The Panthers would let this get away over the span of a week and a half, with multiple days between games to figure out what's wrong. And the Falcons didn't have the benefit of doing that. They were already in the second half. It was one game. So, yes, I'll take the Panthers as a worse historical championship collapse than the Falcons if it happens on Monday night.
Yeah, Todd, those are great points. Great research, by the way. I love all the references to the trophies, but I agree with you on that because they did have time to reset after each loss. That doesn't happen in the Super Bowl in one game and one half, and we all know how things can go sideways. Ask Frank Reich, and when he came back, and big Frank Reich brought all the way back in that Buffalo series. So you're right, 100%. Great points. Jason, it's the 1,400th game of the season that's going to decide the 23-24 champs in a winner-take-all if it's Edmonton. So, in your opinion, would it be the worst collapse in sports championship history, even worse than that Falcons collapse in Super Bowl 51?
I was waiting for Todd to say Scotty Bowman was the coach in 1942.
Not quite.
I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to still say the Atlanta Falcons 28-3. And here's a couple things. One, it wasn't a half. The Falcons were up 28-3 with 18 minutes left in the game, basically 3 minutes left in the third quarter. So they only had to go 18 minutes, and they get the ball every other time, even when the Patriots do score. Remember, the Patriots had to convert two two-point conversions. We saw the miracle catch by Julian Edelman. We saw the Falcons have a horrific holding penalty, which would have kicked the field goal, which would have ended the game. We see this sack here. 6 or 7 or 8 things had to happen for the Patriots to do this. And for that, to me, that's just an epic collapse. And on top of that, the play calling of Kyle Shanahan was horrific. In this situation, the Oilers, there's 4 different scenarios, 4 different games that they had, different games that they had to do this in. And give them credit, they've gotten to 3-3. But I think this story is going to mute tomorrow night. I think the Panthers are going to find a way to get it done at home in Game 7. I know all the public probably thinks Edmonton here, but I think the Panthers from 1-19, 1-20 are the better team. I think Bobrovsky is going to be the difference tomorrow night. I know he's been struggling lately here in the last 3 games, but I think the totality of the skill level of the Panthers, as long as they don't let McDavid kill them, I think the Panthers are gonna mute this story, and it's not going to be a 1942 all over again. No more Scotty Bowman, no more Conn Smythe. and no more Jack Adams.
Well, since you chose the Panthers real quick, I got to get it real quick from Todd. Who do you like, Todd? You got Panthers or Oilers tomorrow night?
You know, I don't know for a fact who bangs the drum before 7. It was Jack Nicklaus in a jersey I wore. Nicklaus 18 Panthers jersey. I'll even wear that in Tampa because I love Jack and golf so much. If it's Dwayne Wade banging the drum, the Panthers have a chance because South Florida hasn't had a significant professional or major collegiate championship not involving Dwayne Wade in 20 years. So it's time to bring out D. Wade. If he bangs the drum, Panthers win. If he's not there, it's Edmonton.
Good stuff, as always, from both of these guys. Jason, Todd, thanks a lot, fellas. Really good conversation tonight.
You got it.